to Indianapolis, play any other world championship you can. Literally, if the game has never organized an event before, it will be run better than Pastimes. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. It's embarrassing.
Their beta draft qualifiers, apparently, some of them lasted 12 hours.
12 hours for a draft qualifier. Get out of here.
Yeah. It was like, I'm 3-0. We've been playing over 5 hours.
I had friends that worked the event, Bernal and them, that said they tried to do it overnight, and they, these are guys that are Magic degenerates, and they're like, we almost didn't get the event in the off hours.
I think this is keepable. I've got a Bomat Courier. The Warhammer card game was really good, and they're actually supposed to have a digital version that goes alongside it, so I'm kind of excited about that. I might have picked up all 4 of the Warhammer starter decks. I'm going to make you play later. I think you'll like it.
Shredder, don't give him credit for having a small event with good support. That, if anything, is a testament to how bad their organization is. Thus, you got to abuse a nice high EV event.
Amulet Titan's a playable deck, but I wouldn't put it anywhere above tier playable. It's like Modern's a format where there's a bunch of different things that I would consider playable.
In the I live up in Seattle now, Pacific Northwest. There's usually 1 to 2 competent Amulet Titan players at most of the PPTQs, but I completely agree that playable, it can do powerful things, but it's real complicated. And if you just kill the Primeval Titan,
what does Ouroboros mean? That's Blue Tron or Mill. So Keystone, I'm pretty sure the distribution model for Keystone just makes it unplayable as a game. Yeah, Merfolk does play it occasionally too, so this Forked Bolt, Lightning Bolt could get a lot of mileage here. Actually, on the play with the start, if they're Merfolk, if they play Silver God or Forked Bolt 1/1, it's bad control deck. Got it.
Oh, wow. Did no one tell him it's modern?
Let me cast this, get some card types in the bin. Speaking of card types,
do you want to keep the fetch because
I could hit a Delve creature.
Yeah. No, I mean,
I guess my health total probably doesn't matter if they're what's it called? Artifact does have a hard release date. That's true.
I'm excited.
There's something. Thank you, Brecken Sky. I appreciate it. Click on that link.
Jojo, I will make sure he gets to it. It's interesting distribution model. It blew my mind how
condescend. So maybe they're like blue-black Tron.
Probably.
And I should have played my land first, I guess. Could have played around that.
Nah.
Thank you for continuing to donate our money to Twitch, wife.
Is that like paying yourself?
The point of Ouroboros in Merfolk is to play around choke at very minimal cost. What's the distribution model? All right, so the distribution model, we should probably clip this too, because this is going to get brought up and people are going to ask about it. So the distribution model for this Keyforge game was designed, and the Keyforge was designed by Richard Garfield. I'm guessing he designed the distribution model too, but I don't know that for certain. So it's not a deck building game. You buy $10 booster packs, and each booster pack is a full deck that you get at random. And now, my head, when I heard that, my brain went to, okay, I get a full deck at random, so there's just going to be 15, maybe 20 decks that are well designed and balanced to play against each other in these random boosters, but they just don't want you to buy specific ones. But that's not what they mean.
Whoa.
What they actually mean when they say at random is that what you're actually getting is there's a combination of cards from 7 factions or whatever they call them that get added and mixed up with 3 of these factions in these decks, and basically a computer algorithm creates decks of cards at random from the possible combinations of decks that could be created, so you don't actually know what you're getting in this booster pack in the deck. So it's It's really weird, and like there's no guarantee that like the decks that you're getting are balanced against each other, and there's no like some decks could be much better and some decks could be much worse. I mean, it's definitely innovative, but to me it feels innovative for the sake of being innovative and not for the sake of being useful. Right. If that makes sense.
And then they mentioned the way that they're long term going to be changing or nerfing it is if they find a deck is too strong in the long term. They will reduce the number of cards you can draw in like earlier turns.
Yeah, so the game has this balancing mechanic where you can't combine decks.
You didn't mention the unique.
It's not a deck building game. It is just a card game that you play. Every card printed in the game is unique in that it's fine. Every deck that gets printed has a unique name on the back, printed on the back of it, so you can't mix and match cards between decks. Savathor, thank you very much for the 3-month resubscription. Nivik, if someone else drops in their 50, we could force Kent to play JAC without help. They want to watch you time out. I don't know why they want to watch you time out, but
Look,
that's
I know how to play mono blue paradox combo on arena timers. I've done it. I might be able to do this. No, I'm screwed. That's going to be...
All right, so they're playing blue-black Eldrazi, I think. There has to be Tron lands in their deck, right? Why would this Condescend be here otherwise?
Full Metal, I was not because I was working a paintball tournament that weekend on the south side of Chicago. But Nerd Rage, I think, was running a table there, and they filled me in on that one. I walked into the venue cackling and laughing.
Headed to the Kent Ketter JAC FUD. Y'all are monsters. Woo. So Garfield is trying to design when he originally where you just get some cards and you never know all the cards in the game. Yeah, Jojo, basically, I guess you'll know all of the cards in the game because like there's cards that overlap between the two decks. Like because even just the two starter decks that we played, my friend and I against each other had some of the same cards in them, but you don't actually know everything that's in. Or I guess I have to imagine they're going to print a full card list. But, like, even cards were unique between decks because they had different backs on them. For people just joining us, this is Ken Ketter. He's one of my buddies that we traveled a bunch and stayed in rooms together on the Open Series when both of us were young and dumb and traveled a lot to play Magic tournaments.
I have one Jeff Hoagland elimination from a Players' Championship underneath my belt.
You do. The J9, thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
I just have to say the probably one of my favorite things about that event was realizing that Jeff actually showed up with Nux.
I did. I was dumb.
The room collectively was like, I mean, I was shocked, but I think I was the least shocked person there.
Immortal Echoes, thank you for the 27 months. And I get rewarded by the people torturing Kent with JAC. You know what's even worse? My keyboard, if we make him click, I got 5 on the JAC. All right. The stream's at 65. If we get another 35 in the bank, sorry, that's 66. You get the 34 in the bank. Ken Ketter will play JAC on stream.
Oh, Lord. I purposefully, so I watch a good amount of the stream. I turn it off every time JAC comes on.
1 month away from a Twitch baby. Hex is dead, so I can't complain about whispers and cockatrice ban ancient stirrings, I guess.
Bring back Fate Weave. We were talking about that today.
Bring back Fate Weave.
Hey, Mr. Burkhart, we love you. And now that you're at an awesome place and you're doing things, if Fate Weave comes with you, that's cool.
So I'm cutting these forked bolts. 800 for JAC. All right, I guess I'll get a running tally going. That's 74 in bits. JAC is just Kaya Ascendancy combo.
We JAC-ing off.
All right. That being said, we are going to finish this league with Temur Delver, so we're going to play this Temur Delver league out.
Do we already submit?
I did not yet. I should do that. Wraithmorn, thank you for the 11-month resubscription. Thank you for the reminder to let that thing tick down before when Matt was sitting here. We did it, fam. Hollow Boys taking home a trophy. They did win. Let's be honest. Orange on the Do Nothing control was the real trophy taker, right?
Yeah. We know it wasn't their legacy player. Their deck selection. No, I'm kidding. Their legacy deck. Apologies. I shouldn't say that. They played
Death and Taxes. Yeah. This is Clark Kent sitting next to me. That's exactly right. He is Superman.
Also, just real bad in Magic.
I'm gonna mulligan this.
What if you stubborn an owl your lightning bolt?
You just gotta believe, chat. Hey, we're gonna draw a ponder or brainstorm, and this hand will be fine then, right? That's how Delver works.
Were there any Bomat Couriers in Legacy?
Matt's lost some weight. What's his name?
Noah. Did you
Noah Walker. Certainly one of the best decks in Modern. Noah Walker for the Open, he just put like 4 Bomats into...
Oh.
So they are confirmed Tron. I looked back for that. I was like, wait, did we start a different match? So I was like, oh wait, we thought they might have been Blue Tron. Got it.
Huh. So we can go.
Nivik wants to make Kent click through Just Guy Ascendancy. I missed a donation. Oh geez, that was the last of it, wasn't it? I think it was.
Uh-oh.
Sorry. I actually shut down my computer because I left for 4 days, so I have to reopen all my tabs. JAC, alright. I don't get what's going on, but here's a dono. Get Kent to say my name, please. Please say random login name.
Random login name.
There you go.
Thank you for the $36. Let's do it.
Alright. Alright. Alright, we're gonna play some JAC after this one, apparently.
Hey, Bushi, the resource, so wasn't mana, you had 2 actions a turn?
No, that's a different one. That's a different one.
Keyforge?
Keyforge is different.
Oh.
Rixel, thank you for the 5 months.
Regurgitating what Jeff has said.
Congrats. Thank you, Steven. I appreciate it. So do I want to... I think I actually just want to hold up Spell Pierce this turn. Is that nuts?
Nope.
Pinky Santis, thank you for the 7 months. I appreciate it.
Pinky Santanas.
Pinky Santanas. Oh, baby. Remember that time you didn't do that while I was tapped out? Get out of here.
Yawn. So when he loses to this Delver.
Z-Surreal, thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. All right, sorry. So Keyforge, the resource system in Keyforge is actually really interesting. So the decks and like I said, the gameplay. No, we hit it, Nivik. We're good. We're gonna play JAC after this, and more specifically, Kent's gonna play JAC. Stinger, thank you for the 15 months on the tier 3 sub. I appreciate it. Toss a Jeskai Ascension League. Got it.
Jeskai Ascension.
Jeskai Thing Ascension.
Oh, okay, cool. I love how we have to have your own nomenclature for your
Ender SP. Thank you for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, hopefully this Delver just runs them down. Sorry. So Keyforge. The resource system is actually really sweet. How it works is each deck's composed of cards from one of these 3 clans. Voices, thank you for the 5 months and welcome back. Each of the decks is composed of cards from the 3 clans, and at the beginning of your turn, you have to pick one of the 3 clans, and then you can only play and use cards from that clan in the turn. So like you can only like attack with units from that clan or play cards from that clan out of your hand. But you can play or use any number of them.
Interesting. You also mentioned with the clans, that's how, so they decided as part of that algorithm which clan combinations weren't supposed to have certain cards, supposedly.
Yes.
So let's hope that the algorithm doesn't miss Nexus of Fate.
Yeah, basically.
But, I mean, because, large companies definitely never make design mistakes.
For $50, my deck requirements get real loose, Billy Boy. Look at that. Look at that. Hit the good one there.
Nivik, I'm going to vote if it's more complicated packed package, then yeah, that's what we're going to be playing with.
I think the pack package might be good. It's really sweet.
Is it complicated?
Am I allowed to help him play? He just has to click? What are the rules here? How cruel are we being? Please tap out for Ugin. Please tap out for Ugin. Please tap out for Ugin. Damn it. Boo. I mean, I guess I have... Yeah, I'd say I've got 2 snags, so let's go. Pointers, but no strict play. I like that.
We'll keep it well below a team level of communication. Check the mulligan. What? Oh, Velik's got me.
Ugh. Why do you lack a 4th point of power, Delver? I demand my daily timeout.
Actually, I can probably log in on the old phone.
And then snipe him. Sniper, no sniping. Ask him what the best song ever, please. He has to say my username while answering.
So the best song ever is definitely. Scroll back up to his name. I believe it's Toto's Africa Vivo, by far. Not just another playing of Toto's Africa, specifically Toto's Africa Vivo. Highest sound quality. Really hits the peaks and the lows.
How could someone like Richard Garfield design so many games? I mean, you know, and you got a lot of good ones. All right, so I get to deploy double threat here. I'm gonna lose my last card to their Thought Seer that we Vapor Snagged, obviously, but I think that's fine.
We can have that stubborn denial.
Go
Milk
threat
Dud,
here.
that's quite a compliment. I will take that. Younger Fiddler.
Is that a younger Kibbler in the background? Well, I don't want to hold the stub up here because I know they have a Thought Seer in their hand that I Vapor Snag back, so definitely gonna like chill on that. Wow, Declan got a lot older thanks to the 34-month streak.
That's really fair, Bios. Watching the KCI match, I had to ask Jeff like twice, like, what does that do? What's happening?
What's the exact touchdown grab troller again?
I have no idea. This is why we play humans, and this is why we read cards.
All right, let's flip to Vapor Snag, Delver.
Please.
All right, I'll take a Faithless Looting. I think I just offer this trade here to start. Cardboard Crackling, thank you for the 10-month free subscription. I appreciate it. Or maybe it's my wife on a really bad hair day. Well, they didn't have another Fatal Push. That's good for us. Another looting. Am I taking Standard Donation decks by chance? I'm not. I don't intend to touch Standard probably until rotation at the absolute earliest.
I mean,
Yep.
2 of those are really good to discard.
You're not wrong.
We discarded half a card, a whole card there, not 2.
Been playing the Bancoco list and switched 2 trackers plus Mausoleum for Militia Bugler. Yeah, I think Bugler's probably really good in the Bant list. Good evening, Bionic.
Hey,
Howdy,
Bruno,
howdy.
Bruno, did you move those to the sideboard? I still, I think you want to be hands-on trackers when possible.
Uh-oh.
Why does he have mana, too?
He has 5, 6, 7, 8, so he can't quite get slavered yet. Sundering Titan.
We're just gonna...
Wait, are they passing? There's no way they're passing here, right? Why did they pass?
What's going on?
My Delver has to be dead here, right? There's just like 0% they pass if the Delver's not dying. But wait, if the Delver could die, wouldn't they do it on their turn? I don't understand, Kent.
I don't know. Hey, Frenzied Mage. So I actually came back into town. My family's from Illinois, and I came to do the Redneck Fishing Tournament. If you guys want to look up some wild stuff. So went and caught about 100 fish over the course of a couple days with nets jumping into our boat, Asian carp. Stopped the spread. And then afterwards decided to hang out here with Jeff and Matt and continue the job hunt remotely. Somebody had asked earlier. It's still happening. Got some good interviews. If anybody's hiring analysts in the Seattle area, I know how to SQL and will be good at jobs.
I know how to SQL. Leak my mana. Yep. All right. Well, we might be able to steal this game now.
I'm real confused what's going on here.
Yep. Me too. Yeah, Stream Decker seems to have issues updating on mobile. Won't we all, Slug Monster? Will SQL for food. All right, so they had double mana leak. By changing phases, I was able to get them to take a hit off their talisman, which actually means the Delver's just like straight up winning the race in the air here.
We're going to Vegas, Frenzied Mage. We need to get a third person on board.
That's true. Matthew is.
So if you folks want to make sure it happens, Matthew.
Message Matthew.
Message Matthew, because we're ready.
Kane was framed. Thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime support. I appreciate it. Yes, that's what it appears to be. They have Thought Not Seers in their main deck, and they have Fatal Push. For you, BBR. Well, that's what we like to call a good draw in the biz.
Huh.
So, I had a Vapor Snag in my deck. I should take a draw step. Top card is always Vapor Snag now. Nope. We were dead. All right. Thank you. Thank you for you, BBR, for the brand new tier 1 sub.
Wait, did we not sideboard last game? Or that was game 1?
I did sideboard. I cut 2 bolts and I brought in 2 stubs. You think I should have Ancient Grudges and Destructive Revelries?
So I'm thinking Revelry is probably a thing since they're looking like they want to Angel us.
It just shocks them, right? I guess that's good.
I mean, the other thing you might want to look at, like, Grudge is definitely going to get 2 different pieces. They play Signets.
Did you playtest Call Adventure? I did not. That was not when I did it. Why do vampires live in Europe? Because they can't stand holy water, and somebody bless the rains down in Africa. Oh. And I'm gonna trim these bolts for these revelries. I'm gonna split it. I'm gonna leave. Let's trim a mana leak. Got a lot of counter magic in my deck right now.
I feel like Ancient Grudge, or the artifact destruction effect, Revelry is fine, was like one of the go-tos for a while when Delver or like the rug decks were trying to beat Tron.
Could you please explain why Wet Ball isn't good here? In my experience, Blue Tron is a bad Tron deck in a okay control deck. So like you usually don't win. They usually don't win by doing Tron things, and Damping Sphere is good at stopping them from doing Tron things explicitly. How often do I update the deck list on my website? Every time there's a relevant need to update them. So the goal is to keep those deck lists current. No, Brecken, I'm actually updating them on the in-between too. I'm updating them just as I have like ideas or see other things that are relevant. So if it was just every time I played them, a lot of them would be pretty severely out of date. Because I don't play everything on there consistently, obviously. Or like every week, for instance. And the goal is to have it be an accessible resource that's useful and people can check consistently.
This forest is brutal.
This forest is really bad. There's no basic mountain in the deck either, which feels a little awkward. But I get that the land count is low.
Yeah.
There's a deck list on your screen. If you're on mobile, you can type !deck in chat to get a link to the deck list. Why not Grudge over Snag? Because the opponent's playing Thought Not Seer, and I want ways to Vapor Snag that. Also, an important thing to remember is that Vapor Snag is pseudo protection, because you can pick your own threats back up with it. All right, Delver, what do you got? What do you got? I'm gonna lead on Serum Visions here, maybe. I want to just be aggressive. Nah, I want to lead on Serum Visions. Yeah, let's do that. Land and Goyf. I think I'm in for both of those, actually. Oh no! Oh no! Serum Visions plus Bomat Courier, Ken. I topped the land, and now I'm gonna put it under my Bomat Courier. Well, this is awkward, chat. This is awkward.
That's how we drew it up, right? The opponent assumes we put the bad card underneath the Bomat Courier.
All right, so I should have put the Goyf on top because I wanted to draw the land next turn. Mistakes were made, chat. Mistakes were made. This is my first time casting cantrips and Bomat Courier in the same deck.
Yeah, Scry is not as intended with could you have cast the Serum Visions after?
I could have, but like I don't think casting Serum Visions beforehand is strictly wrong. I just should have said it the other way because I wasn't thinking about that being a possibility. All right, let's lead on Faithless Looting now. Ugh. I think I want to bin these two because this gives me the best chance to find another land next turn.
I hope they Ugin us.
Don't wish things like that on me.
They can't Ugin the Bomat Courier.
Serum Visions just isn't a powerful card. Its effect that it generates for the amount of mana that it costs is just like not very good on average.
Yeah, Spellweaver that he was talking about. There's Manfield didn't know that he won like POI or whatever, and like I guess WotC, like Seth literally tweeted like, I don't know what the outcome is. Can somebody update me? Because I've heard conflicting stories, and I think what he's referring to is it was exactly them being like yeah or no.
ID, thank you for the 14 months. Welcome back. I appreciate it.
Crazy to me. We're not sure if you won the whole thing. We'll have you ask publicly.
Yeah, I definitely, like, if we had a Misty Rainforest in play right now,
BAB.
we'd be, and we, like, had a mana leak to hold up this turn. We're not guaranteed getting Tron this turn, which is nice. No, I don't, again, chat, like, and this is something people do pretty consistently in my experience. Don't put bad cards in your deck to make up for play mistakes that you made. The correct answer there isn't play worse cards to make up for your play mistake. The answer is learn from your mistake and don't make the same stupid mistake next time.
Hey, what are your thoughts on like Vapor Snagging this and that?
Depends on what they get here. That's a Sundering Titan. Okay, so I really just want to hit a blue or a red source here.
If you hit any source, what are your... so I was thinking if we hit the land, you can bolt Goyf or snag Goyf.
If I hit the land, I could bolt plus snag and then just kill them.
Mm-hmm.
You should read my article on Cool Stuff Inc., Billy Boy. My article last week talked about what I did and why I did it. So I think my mistake on stacking the Serum Vision is going to lose me this. I guess I get to do that. They're just going to like play a thing and kill me is the issue.
I think we got this. So I mean, yeah, you're going to pitch too. Like I think if you pitch Goyf, you can go ground.
Okay, and then I could hit a blue source.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like it's definitely...
We're definitely worse off than we could have been, but yeah, you're right. We're not just dead.
Well, the other thing we have as well is the Delver.
Yes, we could just ride this out potentially. It's not the card's fault. Like, it's not Bomat Courier's fault or Serum Vision's fault that, like, I stacked my cards wrong and it was awkward for me because I stacked the cards wrong. Like, both these cards are fine. And, like, arguably, like, Serum Visions with Bomat Courier is just, like, good, right? 'Cause you, like, have control over what cards you're putting under Bomat Courier, so you can, like, know what to expect. Am I about to get Mind Slavered? I think I'm about to get Mind Slavered.
Face.
And, like, again, if I would have sequenced correctly, I could have mana leaked this, and then we wouldn't have this happening to us right now. I'm actually going to bolt this, so that way they can't attack my stuff into it.
Nice.
The problem is they're just going to, like, they're just going to, like, Vapor Snag my stuff and then play a Titan next turn, and then we can't cast them.
Jeez, yeah, you're right.
Yep. So, again, I think if I would have taken a second longer to think about the Serum Visions interacting with the Bomat Courier, maybe I just should have, once I messed up the Serum Visions, I should have just not attacked with the Bomat Courier. Should have, like, missed the point to guarantee my land next turn.
I think that was probably the best.
I think that was the best recover once I made the mistake.
I want to see that one.
Oh, you didn't see this one?
I didn't.
This is great. I'll put it on screen. Yeah. This is.
I can think of that face so many times in team drafts. Your teammate. So you winning this one? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's better. I think that's better. That to me is more pure. I'm just winning this game of Magic.
Good, clean, livid. That's the. We've got 6 or 7 cards in my blue-white control hand, and we're in the. My opponent hasn't conceded yet, but we're gonna go through the motions here.
Well, let's not say it's the easiest weekend. He definitely worked really hard for 2 to 3 weeks to have a slightly.
Yeah, I mean, he showed up with a deck that was prepared for a metagame and then hit 60% of that metagame.
Yep.
Honestly, probably even more than that, because I'd assume the aggro decks were doing well.
Yeah. Well, what I thought was fascinating was that Turbo Fog list.
Yes.
I know you're not playing much standard, but if there was a deck that would, like, just be fun to pick up for, like, one event or whatever, I think that'd be an interesting one. Mostly because I just want to get to Nexus of Fate. I want to get to the point where my deck is only the Fatiest. Ooh.
I think I'm going to bin this island. The Serum Visions plus Bomat Courier probably finds us another land, so I can plow through stuff. I think the red-black Vengevine deck is better than Dredge. Those are different decks. So the red-black Vengevine deck is an all-in aggressive combo aggro deck in Modern, and Dredge is a mid-range grindy deck that uses the graveyard as a resource.
It's a mid-range deck with a turn 2 win. Well, not really, but
sometimes it kills them.
It's a turn 2 concession.
Sometimes it like puts them virtually dead early, but the reason why Dredge was a good deck once upon a time is because of its ability to grind games out.
Did you know Gemstone Mine lets you cast all your creatures?
It really does. That is a Kent Cutter in the background. Kent's hanging out for a couple days, playing board games, Magic. I'm going to teach him the new Warhammer game.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
I might be addicted. Take a path on. Condemn. Wow, I was like kind of excited that we were getting Path to Exile. I was like, I'll take a land. Regular size Jesse, thank you for the 9 months on the tier 3 resub. I appreciate that. Remember that there is there's a new fancy forum below the stream to submit new donation decks. If you like to bump something that's already in the queue, just drop me a whisper to do that. Am I done with Legacy completely, or am I still accepting memes? I'd probably take a meme for a tier 3 still. You're thinking something like Red Black Reanimator, or what are some of the other decks? Red Black Reanimator or Spanish Inquisition. Blue Black. Yeah, I'd probably take a good.
Just want to play.
I would probably take. I'll take a good deck. I will take.
Can we?
I will take Utter Leighton's. It was Utter Leighton, right?
Yeah, it was Utter Leighton.
I will take Utter Leighton, the blue black deck. The Channel Fireball. The Channel Fireball Death Shadow deck will be fine too. So
let's talk about that for a second. All you Legacy long-term lovers, look what happened when a Pro Tour finally demanded people cared about the format.
It was sweet.
It was
it's
crazy.
Good. Yeah,
that was so cool. Like all that innovation, the blue-black shadow list, turn 1 reanimate my Street Wraith.
Yeah. The reanimate Street Wraith is a really neat access for that deck.
Ooh. I loved it.
No, I'm not taking standard. Standard content just doesn't have any longevity. And while Legacy content is less popular than Modern content for sure, it's definitely more popular than Standard content on average in my experience. I think Bant Spirits is plenty playable, just like most decks in Modern.
I think it's just a worse humans. Boom, said it.
Look, man.
I'm looking to win games. That's
Look, man. It's above Merfolk on the tribal.
Correct. Yes. You show up with Bant Spirits, you intend to win the tournament. Like you are not just showing up to slang some memes.
Played the exact same shadow list at the GP. Nope, that's not true. He played a shadow list. Believe it or not, playing the card Death Shadow in the deck doesn't mean it's the same as every other deck that happens to register Watery Grave and Death Shadow. And that's a very common misconception among Magic players. I deal with that a lot too, especially like I just played the Blue-Red Wizards deck at the Open, and basically every person that's registered Wizard Lightning in Modern for the last 3 months has like sent me messages with saying like, I play a deck just like that one. It's like, well, I get that our decks both play Wizard Lightning and like both have Snapcaster Mage in them, but like they aren't really the same deck per se.
Not per se, just
at all. Yeah.
That's a lot of gitches.
I do have a lot of reaches.
JQ, yes, the Throne of Geth made me. I was
the Throne of Geth Chalice technology is arguably one of the best pieces of Legacy innovation I've seen in a very, very long time. Hangman, thank you for the 4 months and welcome back. I appreciate it.
If it was popular enough, we could play it in Modern.
Ryan Overturf is jealous of your deck construction. What are we doing here? Am I making Field of Runes? What if I bolted you?
So for Uber, what Throne of Geth will do is the Chalice deck's on 1, you sack the Throne to itself and put them on 2, and lo and behold, their deck of 2 CMC spells that were getting around Chalice suddenly look real bad. Gotta remind them to counter it.
Yeah, the Throne of Geth and those two pieces of technology specifically are very, very relevant and important. I didn't see either of those lists, Boy Toy. Blue Bye, thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, Throne. So Throne is like a permanent answer to Chalice. Not only does it answer every Chalice in play, but it also means future Chalices won't resolve.
I didn't even think about that.
Let's try and knock it. Yeah, because it puts it on 2, so they can't put future Chalices on 1 out.
I think that's all it needs to do, Ward Dav. If it shuts off Chalice, I don't think it needs to do anything.
All right, so this opt tells me that they have Terminus in their deck. That being said, thanks for the great content, Rosho. Thank you for the 4 months and welcome back. I do appreciate it. So even though I think that indicates they have a Terminus in their deck, I think I'm supposed to jam Hootie here because I really don't want to play. I really don't want to get got by Cryptic Command next turn. I'd prefer not to.
Yeah, I don't know. Creature type Chalice on Souls would be tough to deal with.
I'm new to your content. I haven't had a chance to watch the videos yet. How is Blue-Eyed Ameria? So the very easy way to find the answer to your question, I know not everybody has time to watch all the Magic content I produce. If you go to my YouTube video, I always try and spend the last 2 to 5 minutes wrapping up whatever deck we've just played. So if you don't have time to watch the entire hour League or whatever that we're playing, you should open the video and click through to the end if you just want feedback on what my thoughts were on the deck in general.
And I think your more recent videos include a timestamp for that section.
Yeah, most of them should at this point. Yeah, so sometimes it takes a couple of days. Actually, the ones from last week might not all be formatted yet because Christy and I were at Gen Con, but Christy's going back in and putting the timestamps for the start of all the matches plus the ramp up in my video descriptions now. Giving them the D. I think we're probably... The lack of Snapcaster mages in this deck seems kind of medium. Like, Snapcaster Mage not only provides additional reach, but also gives you the really nice ability to, like, have an extra threat attached to that reach.
Mm-hmm. I think it'd be nice, you know, like you have a lot of Thought Scours and Faithless Lootings and stuff, like just get a little more.
Yep.
Like people definitely do not understand like how much card advantage, or in this case, virtual card advantage is generated.
Yeah, and I think to a degree, like looking at this deck list at a glance, they probably wanted to try and keep the curve low for their 18 lands, but like I think with the cantrips, and Snapcaster Mage is just such a powerful card, and I think one thing people kind of underassess or undervalue in decks like this is just like Snapcaster Mage can just be a 2-mana 2/1.
And against humans, that's a removal spell in a few spots.
Yeah, definitely.
Champion,
like
get out of here!
Meddling Mage and stuff.
Do not forget the Ambush Viper. Never forget.
One of the things that stood out is how much better chat is now. Yeah, definitely. Like some of my content has definitely gotten better as I've done this more and had more time to devote to it for sure. And definitely my mindset as I've played Magic has changed the longer I've played and the more content I've made. Like once upon a time I was trying to play Magic online and stream with the goal of like winning as many matches of Magic as possible. And that's really frustrating in my opinion because like Magic has a lot of variance in it. So like trying to win as many games as possible is going to lead you to be very frustrated a lot of the time in my experience.
I think somebody had an interesting point. They're making a best of Hoagland moments. Right there, Stanley.
Which one? Oh. I am making a long text document with timestamps with your permission. I'm hoping it will be fine if I made a best of. Yeah, that would be awesome, Stanley. 10 out of 10. Yeah, I think we're progressing towards the dead side of the scale here. Yeah, that's gonna be.
Ooh.
It's gonna be the dream team has assembled. Jace the Mind Sculptor is not very good, but I'll concede to Teferi. He's a good card. All right, so Stubbs is great here. We really don't have cards for a control matchup in our sideboard. I guess I can bring in Destructive Revelry to attack Detention Sphere. They're probably not boarding that card out.
Yep.
God, this deck is really, really bad against Rest in Peace. It turns off a lot of what we have going on. Vapor Snag's not amazing, but it can tag Celestial Colonnade. Tags Gideon on a cage. You can pick our creature up in response to a sweeper. this is good. Yeah, I don't think any of these other cards really do anything. You could maybe make an argument for Alpine Moon, but I think that's just worse than Vapor Snag. I think, like, if the game gets to a point where, like, they're activating Search for Azcanter, we're probably just buried, right?
Yeah, and, like, Colonnade, same idea.
Yeah, and, like, Vapor Snag probably gives us a better chance to steal a game through a Colonnade than Alpine Moon does it, honestly. Yeah, they do play Detention Sphere. The Detention Sphere is in game 1, so that's why I'm bringing in the Revelries. Revelry can also, like, tag a search early, which is okay as well. This is so awkward. So I'm putting this Misty on top, and then I'm, like, playing Bomat pass, no attack, because I need the second land. Hey, No Lava, thank you for the bits. I appreciate it. That's like the most awkward thing I've had in a long time. Okay, so this puts 3 in my bin. I guess I could wait on this. Doesn't really accomplish anything.
We're going on Faithless Looting?
I think I want to hold up the soft stub because I think I'd poke a Search for Azcanta here. I kind of just want to like get my hand empty so I can draw cards with the Bomat. Although I guess getting a Steam Vents kind of sucks, but at the same time. That was great, apparently. And the best thing about people asking for timeouts is that, like, the mods can't really do anything because, like, the only thing mods can do is, like, time people out, which is, like, what they're asking for.
Right. Stop asking for timeouts.
Stop asking for timeouts or we'll give you exactly what you want. Oh, it's just the perfect. All right. Okay, I'll take that. I think I just loot here. I'm kind of looking for a threat, right?
Looking for a threat. Gonna stub
Condemn. I wouldn't mind a Hootie. I think I just ditch these two.
Yep.
So like keep my 1-mana spells up to the max.
Yeah, I like this.
5-2 to Modern Event with your updated blue-red list, Lost to Burn, and Naya Evolution. Naya Evolution's probably a hard game. Yeah, definitely. And the thing I like about the blue-red deck is because it's a tiny edges deck with a lot of reach in it, you basically have a chance against like every non-dredge, non-Vengevine deck. So has a lot of play to it.
And you can also beat those decks if players aren't respecting your beatdown.
Yeah. You can steal games with your bird sometimes.
Do not forget Bolt, Snap, Bolt.
Tribal Lightning Bolts is great. Guess I'm gonna do that. Being out of threat sucks, but like that wasn't really that big of a threat. Threat. There we go. There we go.
Power of 2.
Our powers combined, yes. This is no wonder they have an outside assistance clause for Magic Online.
Yeah. Beep.
Beep.
So, looping back to the Pro Tour, Psy was the breakout card of the event. Hot take. There you go. That's what we're throwing out there. Both modern and standard.
Rug colors need an Abrupt Decay like removal spell. Probably. Yeah, I definitely think like one of the reasons why this color combination tends to struggle in Modern is because Modern's very much a format about playing to the board. And Rug or Temur definitely lacks the ability to play to the board efficiently.
Oh, right, because it's a hard card. Okay. Yeah, KCI sideboard. It was pretty awesome. No, not Psy.
KCI should be banned. Changed my mind. All right, what are they opting for here? They're looking for like a path or a detention sphere, I'd imagine, because like they must think they have more detention spheres than Terminus in their deck at that point. Then Hoagland is back. What do you think of the Vengevine deck that was all over the PT? I mean, like it's like I always say, like can your deck Goldfish a turn 2 to turn 3 kill? If yes, then probably fine, right? And like that deck certainly checks that box off.
I think it might shift humans back to 4 Reflector Mages, like type of thing, but I don't really imagine.
Okay, yeah.
And they'll go back to Core Firewalkers in the sideboard. Now, obviously, the Vengevine doesn't matter, but the 3 to 5 life off of other stuff coming around. At least when I played against Hollow Boys with humans, like you had or not the Firewalkers, Auroch Champions.
Yeah, Champion's really good.
Yeah. I also think what's going to happen, though, is folks are going to pick it up, and then they're going to realize that they mulligan terribly, because, you know.
Aces of Death, thank you for the 7 months. Welcome back. I appreciate it. Slow and steady here. Giving them the beat down.
10% U-White and 80% bad blue-white matchups.
A Settle the Wreckage. Snapcaster Mage, that's annoying. Sarcasticus Gain 4 draw card.
Bridge from Below might be expensive. Oh, jeez.
I'm lucky enough that in that I don't own Magic cards, so like I don't know how much things cost. I think any deck that can kill on the second or third turn of the game is probably fine, and Gift Storm checks that box off. I'm going to go ahead and Mana Leak this because I can't Mana Leak a Supreme Verdict.
You can't Mana Leak a Terminus.
Yeah, you can. Get out of here.
Not the one that they're getting off that opt right there.
Wow, no blocks. That's bold. Maybe they're planning on the Playland double block next turn. That seems really aggressive.
Tension Sphere? He knows it's 9. Oh.
Let me show you my fat stubby D, Tiffrey. My fat stubby D.
Do you think he's gonna...
Stop it! Stop it!
I wanted to believe he was gonna like show us the Spell Pierce and, you know, just feel bad. Nope. What's going on?
I think they misclicked. I think they misclicked.
I hope
They just really want to redraw that Snapcaster Mage. All right. Burn spells are lethal. Fetch the Thin.
I think that might be a good clip if both of us go, what?
We get a bunch of shots at it here because we get to Serum Visions before we Faithless Looting. God bless us.
We can't.
Everyone bottoms up.
Is that one of those things?
All right, let's flash back. This one. Everybody says tilt. All right. Yeah. I think I'm supposed to kill the Teferi because killing the Teferi means Goyf is still lethal next turn. Because it goes to a 5.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, Bomat Courier was also lethal there because it put an artifact in the bin.
That would have been pretty great.
Yep.
And we get to show him the stubby.
Alright, this is my fat stubby D. That's all I got. Stop it. Don't yay! We did it. We did it. We did it.
Oh!
Hooray!
Yeah, Steven, it's really important to point out that the entire Hot Sauce team played exceptionally well, and I think they selected some pretty good decks.
Yeah. There's a lot that goes into any tournament. Like anybody who wins any tournament got fortunate to do so, but like it's not just luck that gets you to the finals and lets you win it, right? Like there's deck selection, there's playing good Magic.
Yeah, as much
there's
as
hitting good matchups. Like
quickly made fun of them for selecting Death and Taxes, like, you know, if that's within the strengths of what they were testing and like the players that they have playing. There's a lot of ways that our joke about them is completely wrong, and they're intelligent super winners. Whatever. Deal with it.
Finkel played Storm, what gives? They didn't play, did you see, their Storm build was weird. They cut all the pieces and they had Pyromancer's Ascension main deck. Yeah, it was weird. I think this is a mulligan. This doesn't do anything. With like a threat or a cantrip, I think. Hello.
That's exactly what it was.
I guess.
I'm glad the immediate responses were so 2013 Storm.
No, it still had Gift Sun given in it. 2013 Storm did not have Gift Sun given in it.
That's fair.
Death and Taxes didn't win the Legacy portion. A team playing Death and Taxes won the Legacy portion. These are small but distinct differences. How do we feel about Bin Hootie, Bin Spell Pierce? And like go Goyf, and then I have Destructive Revelry to back it up in case they have a Detention
So you're
Sphere.
binning 2, fetch would make it 4. So what I'm wondering is if we hit a third land, we have like a decent opportunity of double threat next turn.
Oh, so if I go like ditch the problem is if I Hootie, then the Goyf is bad.
Oh sure, I prefer, yeah, I think because we saw the Goyf is just
Yeah.
big and spicy. That's fair. Man, it's like there's a non-bow between Delvin.
God, that's weird. Finkel was playing Storm with main deck Ascension against a burn deck with Wild Nacatl. What year is it? Is definitely the right question to ask.
It was just burn plus Nacatl. Like that was so they trade off a couple of the like skull cracks or something, I guess. Probably not.
I see the comment. What does that have to do with anything though? I see the comment. I don't have to read every comment out loud to see it. We have an exclamation point timeout command in this chat. People are welcome to time themselves out. You don't have to wait for one of them lazy, good for nothing moderators to time you out, chat. Can do it yourself. Put on your big pants. Ooh, that's good for us. It means next turn I get to play Goyf plus Spell Pierce up.
So how long do you think until we see people write articles about tuning the Pro Tour decks, and then we can talk about how trying to optimize decks like 3 days after seeing them on coverage doesn't actually do a thing? Because I think I just saw that on somebody's.
Oh no, it's a slaughter. Can I subscribe if I'm done? You can definitely still send money if you're timed out. Can definitely still send money.
That's actually.
I choose to believe Kent has changed his.
Oh yes, I have. Yes, yeah. This is the one he saw me wearing it.
He actually only owns this shirt now. That's why he's job hunting it to sell the rest of them.
Right? You joke, but I have like 15 t-shirts. Like I have like 3 pairs of pants, no more than 15 t-shirts to my name. That's just all we got. Minimalist, man. No.
What my takeaway is regarding the Modern and Legacy portion of the PT. My takeaway regarding the Modern and Legacy portion of the PT, and this is great. So Wizards of the Coast finally shared all the deck lists from the Pro Tour. Here's the asterisk next to that, though. None of those deck lists are relevant data because we don't have individual match records. So they didn't actually share any useful data. So moving forward, if they're to share all of the deck lists from the single format Pro Tours, that is a good change in the right direction of providing useful, tangible data to allow us to do calculations with. I feel like over the next week, I am going to spend a lot of time explaining to a lot of people why having all of those deck lists doesn't allow us to draw statistically meaningful conclusions about anything. Yeah, I very much have like this tinfoil hat on, or like this, sure, we did this because basically like they know it's not statistically significant.
Yeah, it gives you. I think the only thing you can try to drag out of it is maybe insights about what teams were thinking leading into the event.
Yeah, definitely from a it's neat perspective, like it's definitely neat, and like I said, it's a step in the right direction. And I don't want to say like this is bad or Wizards of the Coast shouldn't have done this, because I think it is good and I'm glad they did it. I just don't want people to extrapolate things from this set of information that you shouldn't or can't accurately be extrapolating.
Yeah, no question on that. Anytime you have a company trying to quash sharing of data, like, you need to give me a really good business case as to what that does against you, and even then, I'm probably going to tell you you're being ridiculous.
I agree that having data slots of form, but do you think the competitive players' experience would be better over the long term? I think saying that data is the reason formats are bad is a cop-out. The reason formats are bad is because they're poorly designed. It's the same reason why when formats are good, it's not because of a lack of data or too much data, depending on what you have. Formats are good because they're well designed, and they're bad because they're poorly designed. So don't use information as a scapegoat to make up for your design team being bad at their job, basically.
I'm well aware on that one, Dr. TYM. It's an irony of saying many things while wearing any amount of large, corporation shirts. Doesn't matter which one.
So they just unsummoned their click, so I assume we're getting verdicted this turn. Yeah. Gosh, it's a shame I don't have one of our 12 counter spells. What 3 decks would I register at a team event? I don't know, it depends on what our goals are. I think we probably, if I had to play Legacy this weekend, I probably would have played, hey, we had a couple of subs there. We had Alistor Stone, thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime sub, I appreciate that and welcome back. And Omnivoy, thank you for the 3-month resubscription. Thanks for the quarter of a year, thanks for re-upping. I think my picks for Legacy would have been like Sneak and Show and Red Black Reanimator.
Sorry, I'm laughing at that. Yeah, I'm sure they'll let us ascend to heaven once they share the 1 trillion they just made. I used to work for Apple.
Hoaglandia, Blunderbra, thank you for the 2 months and welcome back. So, I think I just lead on the fat loot here and just see where we get from there. Definitely ditching this land. Probably this Vapor Snag. I guess the Snag could be useful. If they want to fire up the Colonnade to block or something.
We have 6 points of damage in hand. Ooh, yeah, snagging a Colonnade's got to be pretty peak, like...
How's the deck felt so far? I'm not sure I understand the lack of Snapcaster Mage's Belligerent Mars. Feels like kind of an oversight to not include that card in a blue-red tempo shell. It's just like arguably the best tempo card in the format, I think. Like, and one of the things Snapcaster Mages does really nicely is Snapcaster Mage kind of fixes the wrong half problem these interactive decks often has, and it does that by basically giving you more copies of everything in your deck. So like Snapcaster Mage is extra Vapor Snags, and it's extra counter spells, and it's extra Lightning Bolts. So just like gives you a lot of flexibility. I don't think my 18 land deck wants Tireless Tracker. Team Unified Modern sounds terrible, and I have no desire to play it. I don't really have an opinion.
Isn't it just like doing a series of weighted coin flips? Like finding 3 coins that, are the different kinds.
Orflick, thank you for the 7-month resubscription. The King of the Lurkers declares, thou shall keep up the content and good times. Thanks for the 7 months, I appreciate it. Yeah, honestly, you should just like... Basically, if I was going to play a Team Unified Modern event, I would create a map of just good modern decks that don't overlap with each other, and then find whichever one of those lists of overlaps myself and my teammates enjoyed playing the most, and just play that one.
100%.
And that's why I think Unified Modern is actually a really terrible format, because like it basically just narrow Modern, right?
Like they pointed out, like at the last one in Texas, it was like reasonable deck, and then it was like third person pick some weird controlled deck and had to play like 5 to 7 bad cards in it or whatever.
Yep.
And it was just like, wow, this is cool.
This turn should actually be pretty sweet. If they fire up the Colonnade again, I get to Vapor Snag them, double bolt, and then draw 2 with the Bomat. Kieran Nerva, thank you very much for the 2 months and welcome back. I appreciate that. Thanks for the continued support.
I got this one, Jeff. Niza Mizur, was Hollow One a good pick? It could win by turn 2 or 3. Yes.
Yep. Yeah, look at that. You're learning.
But additionally, I do think it's a good pick. The deck is particularly explosive, and a lot of these pros who have volumes with games and just understand the nuances of Burning Inquiry and Goblin lore, and feel tilt-proof, I think it's a good combo to pick. All those things.
So this was a really small thing here, but you'll note that I Vapor Snagged the Colonnade during the enter combat phase as opposed to during the declare attackers phase. This is an important distinction because it means if my opponent... what's the word I'm searching for? It means if my opponent were to use it to help counterspell my Vapor Snag, they would have it tapped and wouldn't be able to attack with it. All right, I think I actually don't crack this because they're at 1.
Yep.
good draw.
They have the path here?
It's the same Temur Delverless that Todd Anderson brought to the Open. I don't think so, Chubbs. This is a viewer submitted deck list.
Oh yeah, definitely not. Bomat Courier goes the distance.
That's tasty.
Please have the.
That's tasty.
Woo! 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 I gotta say, tempo decks, they just make you feel alive.
I can't even see what's under these. I can't even flip them over. Gosh, this card back is beautiful.
I like it. Yeah,
listen,
I get it. I get it. It's good.
At least
the logo is hot. The logo is hot.
It looks like something designed this year.
It's true. It's true.
So I demoed the Transformers trading card game from Wizards of the Coast at Gen Con 2. And the gameplay was okay, but is it sad that while I was playing, I was sitting there and the first thought that goes through my head while I'm playing it, and I think, this is kind of okay. My first thought after that was, it'll never have a good digital offering because Wizards of the Coast is making it.
I made the mistake. I didn't realize it, but I applied for a data scientist position job at Hasbro.
Okay,
yeah. Like I clicked submit, and then I was like, wait a minute.
We're a Hasbro subsidiary. This hand's great. This hand's more than good. Shock this bad boy in. And honestly, maybe that's not true. I'm hoping that since maybe the Transformers game is a Hasbro IP, that maybe they could hire an outside company to do the digital client. Like, the way the game was made, it definitely played in a way that would format it onto a screen better. Honestly, a big part of what makes Magic so medium on a digital platform is that it's just not a game that was designed to be played on digital, right? Like, the way all these resources clutter up the board just like is not conducive to playing on a small screen.
Yeah, what zone on your Hearthstone board is for resources? It's like this tiny sliver in the corner.
And that's why, like, the Warhammer game is going to be coming to digital too, and the way that game is set up and plays out, you basically only ever need 4 rows of cards, and there's only ever 4 cards in each of those rows. So, like, it's very, very clean gameplay that could port there. They suspended a search for tomorrow, right?
I believe our opponent is threatening Hoaglandia.
I had not seen anything for the Transformer card game. Did they use the art from the cartoon or the Bayformers? I actually don't know the answer to that.
Does it look like big explosion-y Optimus, or does it look like cartoons?
Explosion-y, I think.
Yeah, it's Bayformers. Yeah, like all the mainstream stuff is like, what the movies look like. The purists, they want the Autobots to assemble in cartoon form.
They want
let's go.
The Autobots to assemble in cartoon form. All right, let's attack with these, I guess. Goyf is out of range here. Can I spell pierce anything meaningful this turn, or do I want to just jam another threat? If I jam another threat, they're just like dead to this bolt, right?
So the search is coming off. Like the only no, because he would pay for the search, resolve, and cast another thing. Yeah, I think you just jam threat.
That was wrong. I should have gotten a red source there, because this way, if they kill an insectile, I could draw bolt and double bolt them, and I can't do that now. Debithy, thank you for the 3-month free subscription, and welcome back. I do appreciate it.
Hey, Net, you asked, since I'm going to be a programmer without a CS degree, I am getting into analytics. My degree's in policy analysis. I plan on studying R and Python and hope to transition over. What I'm getting at, if you studied math and you think logically, you can be a programmer.
Yeah. If you look at programming positions on job boards, at least in the United States, the ones that I've looked at, they definitely say CS or related fields. So like statistics degrees and
my degree qualified.
And math degrees and just honestly just like background work too. A lot of places care more about your practical experience. God bless America, my country, 'tis of thee. Sweet land of liberty.
I did not think we were
the icing
reached. Hey, that's a good Pierce target. Did you?
That was a good. You're not wrong, Mr. Kent Ketter. You found a good spell Pierce target.
So what I got into is trying to get my head wrapped around programming stuff. As I got my Scrum Master. And just started working loosely on development stuff there, and really talking in some interviews now just the more logic you can apply and be around and be helpful with.
I think I'm trading a Goyf for 3 points of damage here. Makes a red source lethal next turn.
Right, with the Delver.
Yeah.
Seems fine. I also... Watch, we get second breached.
I'll just get second breach. I had a response to that one, really. Alright, so they have... So I just need to leave creature in my bin here, basically. Alright.
I can get behind you on that one, Sad Mafioso.
So we have them DOB. And they play a mountain, play a titan, get Valakut mountain, kill my Delver, I curl up in a little ball and rock back and forth on the floor. So, not to crush your self-esteem, but a lot of companies that are looking to hire people, especially for like analysts and development positions, want a degree in something. And it's just the world we live in. They want to see that you like having, we're dead. I should have blocked.
Dead to bullshit.
Should have blocked. Yeah, should have blocked.
We did this.
We're dead to Titan too.
Right, because they get
Yep.
land plus, but if we got it, if we blocked, we weren't. Yeah.
Yeah, if I blocked, if I blocked, I'm like still dead to the Titan, right? Well, I guess if I block, yeah, I'm still just dead to the Titan. It doesn't matter because like they didn't have to fetch. Oh, they did have to fetch that actually. Huh, that's interesting.
They gonna kill us? No, they got it. Oh no, you're sorry. They already showed us the Titan. Never mind.
Yeah.
I'm wasting your time.
Yep.
Yeah, Leighton, that's a good point. And not to get too specific, but the market has rapidly changed. And
Yeah. Leighton, like you've been involved, so 25 years. That's very different.
That's a PhD equivalency.
Yeah, that's a lot. And like 25 years ago, CS degrees were like kind of new-ish, right? Like that's like 97.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like the getting entry level in new positions is very different today, at least in my experience. I guess I haven't looked for an analyst. You're looking at analyst jobs now, though, right?
Yeah.
Like,
hey, Turbo Jet Mega Christ, that's absolutely true. If you have a good drop box and a good amount of work, you can show them you can do the work. They will care much less about it. But when you mention that you're just getting into it and you're trying to break in, like, what's a baseline qualification? You did something academic for 4 years. Like they're going with risk averse things like time. I'm
not saying it's correct that they do that, but that's definitely the culture of the hiring that we live in.
Jason L., you are totally right. I have some friends in Seattle like that. They started with QA and now some of them are hitting ceilings.
Yeah, no strokes is weird. I think the sideboard is a little bit, it's got kind of a strange focus in it. I really like the Firespouts actually, and the moons and the damping spheres are good. The Feed the Clans feel absurdly narrow to me. I feel like just having these cards that are basically just for burn, unless I was like playing a local event where I expected to play against a lot of burn, I don't think I would play that card.
Really?
Yeah, this is a donation deck. I think that sounds good.
I really like Firespout more than I'm thinking about it. Like,
yeah,
as a humans player, I'm terrified of it.
It doesn't kill any of our creatures, and this deck, because it's playing both halves of Firespout, it can actually kill Mantis Rider when it needs to.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. But the fact that you could keep your Delver and just like 2 for 1 on turn 2 or turn 3. Play some Firespout if you want to try to mess with humans.
Should I go BU or black green? Have you drafted Zendikar before? I have someone here who can probably actually.
I have 2 Moto PTQ top 8s with this format, and I suck. Anyway.
Black green or black blue?
I think your curve is a little bit better on the blue. Welcome Turn on 2 is solid. Living Tsunami is good. I don't think you need to play the Wind Rider Eel in this, though. But Into the Whirl, Welcome Turn sound good.
Look at that. Normally you wouldn't get qualified and competent advice unlimited here, but I happen to have imported a Kent Ketter for the next couple of days, so here he is.
I do play a touch of limited.
All right, so we're going to go bottoms up here because we're definitely just looking for a threat.
And Rain, great format. If anybody else wants to play some sweet limited, go draft 2s.
Yeah, Algarth, I'm kind of inclined to agree with you that I tend to like Kitchen Finks as a hedge against burn rather than Feed the Clan just because it's more flexible.
Because it comes in against all your grindy matchups. I remember a while ago Reed Duke started playing it and the sideboard had jumped, and since then it just like always just felt like it did exactly what it needed to.
All right, so I'm going to Scour here to start. And the reason why I'm Scouring versus Serum Visions is because Scour means if I draw a Hooting Mandrills, I can cast it this turn. Whereas if I played this and drew Hooting Mandrills, I wouldn't be able to cast it because I wouldn't have enough cards in my bin. What do you think of Zealous Conscripts in Scred Red?
I got a
Since
question.
creature decks are popular right now. Scred Red's problems aren't solved by putting more 5-drops in the deck.
What problems are you trying to answer with, like, specifically what does that card answer? And the things that I can think of that it's actually a really busted answer for are, like, planeswalkers, not creatures, because you're not going to sack it.
Yeah, and even then, like, the number of planeswalkers that it answers are, like obviously it's, like, good against Karn, right?
Sure.
Like, in the best case scenario, but, like,
Yeah.
a lot of the time it's going to be really narrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the fork bolts have been pretty medium, and the way this sideboard is constructed in this deck, we really don't have efficient cards to cut to be able to board the forked bolts out.
That is a good point. We might want to update to JAC Trainwreck.
JAC Trade Wreck, that's true.
Orfleck, getting an internship. Simply put, I felt like so I had one at PricewaterhouseCoopers over the summers, and what my advisor told me was speaking confidently and clearly in person, having a high amount of social awareness and emotional intelligence, and a passable resume was what they really looked at, because there are a lot of companies now, especially in different like technical fields. Everybody has a long list of like qualifications from school, and it's kind of all the same, but they don't want to have an intern walk in the door who like can't hold a conversation or can't find ways themselves to interact in positive ways.
Yep.
Basically be a better communicator and have a resume that's functional, and you'll probably get in there. But shake hands, look them in the eye. Really old school, silly stuff, and it works well.
Also, people always ask about programming stuff. Just start programming. Just don't wait. You don't have to wait till you have your first job to get programming experience.
My biggest regret is
put your stuff on GitHub.
you should have a GitHub full of failure. Literally, a GitHub full of failure. Walk into a job with failure showing into progress or into an interview. What are they going to tell you? Oh man, like, why'd you spend 50 hours doing this? They're going to ask you questions. They're going to give you fodder to talk about. Most interviews, you're just trying to convince them to not hire. Like, you're already there. They already invited you into the door. You're just trying to not sound too silly.
All right. And Moto's still counting down here. It's like do the old is Moto frozen checker is my opponent AFK. We are still counting down.
Yeah, Slowbro King, that's a solid point. I think I definitely wanted to emphasize that, just with like really emphasizing communication and being put together when you're shaking hands and kind of there.
I actually really like the idea of Teague out of the human sideboard. One of my buddies played that in Peter Tragos played that in Indy, and just like it stops engineered explosives and Cloud Iron works.
Your boy here has 3 premier event but larger humans top 8s, and I really like Teague. The random X spells that you get to pick up are nice.
Yeah, the fact that he stops
Wrath.
it stops
all the
Wrath
rats,
too. Yeah,
all the rats, KCI. It's nice. I do think it's really like you just kind of ignore the difficulty of casting. I've tried one Teague and gone up. I tried a Campbell, 2 of them, which is nice, but I think Teague is correct. On one of the Haruya sites, I believe, because Tragos linked me this article, one of the Japanese players, it's an article written in Japanese, talks about why Teague is fine even with the mana being bad.
That expects someone to pay them to be taught, and it's baffling. Right, Glutz?
Yeah, get all your failure on your own time. They love seeing that.
Dev tip interview from an old fart. When asked what makes you a good developer, tell them it's your laziness, since you're always looking for the most efficient method to do something. I want to type the least and get the most out of it.
Do that on your technical interview, not on your culture fit interview. But that's really good. Like, it shows, this is my thought process when solving complicated problems. Like, a bad thing you can do, by the way, is not ask clarifying questions, especially on your technical interviews. Oh, it doesn't, JQ. You're right. It doesn't stop Bantu's Last Reckoning. Which, by the way, that's a spicy modern card.
So, why do people not know how to link Twitter? Someone was asking if this was Todd Anderson's deck list, and one of the things I definitely think you should definitely build off of when working on archetypes that like you want to tune. Like, I think one of the things people do a lot of the time in Modern that's very incorrect to do is that when they start on like a tier 2 archetype like this, they try and start from a blank sheet of paper too often and don't work from like what people have done before them. So like this is the Temur Delver deck list that Todd Anderson registered at an open moderately recently. And I like a lot of his details here. This feels a little bit more clean than what we have going on right now. Going up to Cryptic Command feels a little bit ambitious, but I like the details here, especially he's got the 4 Snapcaster Mages. I don't...
Eldrazi Slash. It's right there.
Eldrazi
right there.
Slash. I don't hate that this deck has Bomat Courier in it. I think that's an interesting direction to take it, but I think like starting with a shell like this that an experienced player has been playing and then trying to work Bomat Courier into it is better than kind of this. This feels like this deck list that we're playing right now was kind of like started from scratch. And I even did that recently, like the blue-red Delver deck that I top-8'd the Open with in Indianapolis 2 weekends ago. When I started playing that, the very first thing I did was open a Google page, and I typed, Jeff Hoagland, Delver Fae, there's my search. Jeff Hoagland, blue-red Delver, Kansas City Grand Prix, because in 2013...
Wait, you played Delver Fae at Kansas City in 2013?
I did play Delver Fae.
I played 4-color Fae at Kansas City, and I think it was my first GP cache.
Where was it? Where's God? These old coverage pages
No,
are
seriously,
so
can
terrible.
we find the list from this? I am positive this was my first GP cache. Deathrite Shaman was legal in this format, right?
Yes.
What were you doing?
I dropped these monies. I guess I didn't need them anyways. Thank you for the 3-month resub. I appreciate it. Yeah, and here's my deck list. I top 16 this Grand Prix with this deck.
I think it's top 64, right? Is cash? Look, can you control that for me?
Do we have standings here still? We do. Look at that. Are you in here, King Cutter?
I think
my
this was
back
the
yet?
one. This was the one where I was testing. This was like my event before, the summer before. Yeah.
92.
92. So it wasn't a. That's a cash. 128.
Was it 128?
I think it was.
I don't remember. All I know is I got 16 by mistake.
I remember I lost my last round against Affinity. My opponent showed up late.
I was the only one with
Got
the
the
draw.
game one. Or he got game one because. Or sorry, I got game one because he was late. We didn't board. I lost in 5 minutes. Went to game 3 and got Affinity. Maybe I didn't cash. It might have been my first game.
What's the best way to become an Excel master? Well, so one of the things when I worked for a company for about a year after I finished grad school, but before I started, before I was a stay-at-home dad for a while, was we couldn't install Python on the machines, but I needed to automate tasks, and like every computer had Excel on it in the office. Mm-hmm. Sorry, my opponent is disconnected here. We're just like BSing around and like moving stuff around here. So hopefully we'll get the timeout W here.
Or
unplug your mouse.
I think that does. Yeah, that's actually what you need to do, Nightweed. I started when I was learning Solver Plus. I refused to use a mouse and learn the shortcut keys. And even if you don't know what you're doing, not using the mouse makes you look really cool in interviews. I was gonna say Coursera has been good for me. There's a few free things on there, but Excel is so common. You should just Google pivot tables, concatenate, and like 2 other commands and just self-study. There's a lot of really, really good information out there.
I can always tell how long it's been since I last used Vim because whether or not I have to Google how do I close Vim.
Yeah, VLOOKUP's a good one. I really think I messed with it quite a bit in college, just trying to take like large deck lists and stuff and just sort them and mess with them. But I don't know. That's so true. Oh, you know what? A Google? Congrats, you're the IT guy. That was 90% of my.
The good old WQ, WQ. Zeramas, thanks for the 22 months, and welcome back. I do appreciate it. All right, let's poke at the JAC list, because we had donations to make Kent play JAC here. No, we're not playing this one. Where is it? Packed JAC.
I don't want to see what I'm.
You don't want to see.
What I'm getting
Oh,
into.
I need to cut a card. We're gonna put a Thren in your sideboard. I think this is it. All right, I'm want to cut a thing. Yep, that's all right. Let's do this. This will be.
I wonder how many combo decks I've actually played in tournaments. I don't think I've like registered a combo deck. That's why I was excited to tell you I might actually play that at LA. I might register
The Blue Storm.
Yeah. I happen to. I mean, that's because I have it on Arena, but might be fun. Oh, the deck's away. Don't look. Whew.
Why is there a Throne in the board? So you can pact for it against control decks. No, Fiery Confluence was consistently bad, Brecken Sky. I cut that a while ago. No, it's not happening yet. If you're currently watching us on YouTube, you should click ahead. Only renewed for the Kent. Thank you for the 27 months, Andrew. Thanks for the free Amazon. Remember, even if you don't love me enough, chat, to give me your Amazon Prime, go give it to somebody.
Anybody.
Giving Amazon Prime, subscribing to someone is like taking money from a large corporation and giving it to a small or medium or large size content.
It is.
It is. It's taking money out of Amazon's pocket and giving it to somebody.
This weekend, I actually reminded all my lovely relatives. I asked them, "Hey, who has Amazon Prime?" And
thank you for the 84.
I offered to help them support their kids. Like a couple of them have, they're like kids watch Twitch.
Okay.
I was like, find out and go click them and give them,
Asmati and Fry Guy, thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime subs. I appreciate that. I'm here streaming because I love doing it, but the Twitch Prime and the subs and the donations, those are the reason I'm able to do this full time like I do, so thanks for keeping me around. Salty Spike! I hope you don't have too much to be salty about this evening and this weekend. Thanks for the support. I hear Ninja needs more money.
It's going from a bigger corporation to a slightly smaller.
Grendel 1216, thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime and welcome. All right, sorry about the timeout there, folks. Unfortunately, can't really control that. We're 2-1 in this league, but and this is a really important lesson. People often come in and ask, as a quick hit, what's your record? And, just asking a record doesn't really tell you how good a deck is. Musics and Life, thank you. Thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime support. I appreciate it. This deck, for instance, we're 2-1 in this league, but we had a control opponent misclick to lose a game, which we then stole.
Are we sure it was a misclick? Sure it wasn't a really, really shrewd decision?
I mean,
scoreboard.
And then we had someone timeout. So, even though we're 2-1 in this league, this build feels a little bit clunky and medium. Wed Glore, thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime. Man, I'm gonna have to do the make sure you give it to somebody spiel more often. That was very successful. That was very successful.
No, not this streamer, just any streamer.
Any streamer. I mean, if you want to give it to me, that's great, but just give it to somebody. Someone said Ninja's subs went from over 200,000 to under 100,000. I mean, 100,000 subs is still 350K a month before sponsors. Right. Cyber Seal, thank you very much for the brand new Twitch Prime and welcome. Welcome to everybody. New subs, be sure you poke into the subs Discord. You can type !Discord in chat to get the instructions on how to make that happen. How do I feel about Remand in these types of lists? I think Remand is generally a pretty good card. Like I said, if I was going to work on this archetype, I think I would definitely start with Todd Anderson's take on the archetype, and his build had 4 Remands in it, I think. Yep. Dang it, Twitter. Oh, there we go.
I think another way you could look at it, I really look at a card like Remand because I don't play as many of these tempo decks, is am I trading it up in situations? Mana, just strictly on mana. Are there more decks that are playing 3, 4, 5 cost spells?
Are you Rudy Ards or Rudyards? Either way, thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime. I appreciate it. And Rangy Tangy. I can make Kent help me pronounce things. Thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate it. No, that's a full Kent Ketter. He's here.
I mean, it's kind of half. I did lose a big chunk of me a while ago, but it's been a minute since then.
What do you mean? What do you mean YouTube censoring policies? Their monetization things? Because honestly,
we just talked about that.
I think if Twitch is going to be successful and continue growing, they're going to need to be more strict about their monetization things. There are a lot of people that monetize things on Twitch, like copyrighted music on their streams, that will get Twitch in trouble if they continue to grow and ever be the size of YouTube.
And I've definitely seen some Twitch streamers that like to do rebroadcasts that are just rebroadcasting stolen material, be it music or I watched one person rebroadcast a video of somebody else playing, and I'm just like, what is going on here?
Part of me wants the Thought Scour here, but another part of me just like doesn't want to leave the Mana Leak. Oh yeah, Ninja is definitely making likely. Ninja is likely making $1 million plus a month, likely with sponsorships and other stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is just like that's just like almost FU money at that point.
Yeah, I don't think people realize how much clout one gains with that many subscribers.
Yes.
Like.
Could you upload your take on Blue-Red Possibility Storms? You could, add it to my site. Maybe by the problem is by the time we finished playing that deck, I really wasn't a fan of it. All right, so this gives them an opportunity to like kill my Delver, which kind of sucks. Hey, Zerim, Twitch Prime to someone else this month, so here we are. Thank you for the 8 months and re-upping with the real dollary dues. I appreciate the continued support. Thanks for the 2/3 of a year.
And thank you for min-maxing your Twitch Prime.
Yes.
It's also good. Thank you. Say thank you to Mr. Bezos every night.
Yep. Jat, you could make a second Twitch account. What's it? A couple of people, Nivik and Wannabe Beetle, have second accounts to do that. They're great.
Big Dusty and Eater of Days?
Big Dusty and Eater. That's true. That's actually probably a good
Can we
idea.
play that? What is that deck? I've never.
What is that?
I just like the name of that.
Big Dusty.
Sounds like a bad.
You know what
band.
Dust Elemental is?
Yep.
It plays Dust Elemental, Eater of Days, and Torpor Orb creatures.
I remember the old Hokori, like. Okay. Yeah.
Just want to say congrats on the top 8 finish this weekend. Last weekend, the winner is actually a buddy of mine at my local game store. Yeah, sweet. Yeah, the open was a lot of fun, and the Jun player played very well. He probably deserved that win more than anybody else after having to go through Burn and Tron in the single elimination match.
Wow.
Here's that stupid pop-up. Everybody spam my emote, aka the best part of this channel. Thanks, Maddie. Oh no, chat, we're playing against this deck. And for those of you who don't know what this deck is, it's 8 rack.
How many racks do we have, Jeff? They have 8?
I have 8, yep.
I think my favorite thing was watching, or it was like at an open, I was playing Modern. My opponent was like, I'm playing 8 racks. And then after the match, he's like, yeah, I cut one of the rack effects. I'm like,
So you're playing 7 racks.
he didn't find it funny.
He didn't find it funny.
He died to not hitting a rack. 8 whack. What about 8 rack whack? Give a dog a bone.
You can always find my deck list on my website, jeffhoagland.com/deck lists. I'm keeping that page up to date with all of the deck lists that we've played on the stream long term that are interesting or fun or stuff like that. That is, for those of you just joining us, that is a Ken Kenner sitting in my background. Kenta's someone that I traveled with a bunch and we were both playing. We both qualified for the 2014 Players Championship. God, that was so long ago. Yeah, because that was when we got the hoodies late for.
Yeah.
2014 PC.
Remember, when you don't get what you want, you just gotta ask the right people nicely. I remember walking in and they didn't have swag bags, and I was just so distraught. I took a final on the media day at the Star City Center and talked to one of the OP people, and they were just like, "Oh, we didn't even think of it." And of course, they
What was the Players Championship?
Oh, back when Magic was good and you could lose to platinum level pros in Roanoke, Virginia.
So here's a question. Do I want to play this so I can Vapor Snag this in case they play a removal spell? I think I kind of do. Maybe this is loose though, because like Liliana's their only real removal spell that kills this, because like Fatal Push misses it. What's going on, Rossum? Good evening.
Don't think too deeply about this one.
Okay, well I'm glad I ended up sequencing the way I did. So they're gonna down tick here, and I'm gonna pick Hootie up.
But Jeff, you have to.
Oh, I could have just dealt one more. Yeah, that's a much better idea, Rogue. That's a much better idea. I should have kept this in my hand. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh, mistakes were made. Shoulda kept the land in our hand to discard the stuff. didn't have a blue source. We've played ourselves, chat. I have but one person to blame. I am a sad panda. I definitely deserved that.
Hootie and the puntfish.
All right, so we're gonna cut the snags. I'm gonna cut the forked bolts. I'm gonna bring these in, I think. I'm gonna bring in the extra stubs. Mana base, I want to drown myself. This mana base is interesting. We have a lot of fetches and not a lot of lands for them to get.
I will say it wasn't the. We did look at it and make sure that there were multiple shock lands and one of each.
Yeah, I did at least make sure there was one of each shock land. Yeah. One of the things, like, again, just like going back to like list people that have played previously that have been successful in Magic, like Anderson was playing 4 Spire Bluff Canal, which seems pretty appealing. And he has a basic mountain. No basic mountain in this deck is a little medium.
Did he play a forest in his?
Yes. Yeah. One of each basic.
Yep.
His hand looks great. Yeah, and I get the idea of wanting a lot of fetches because, like, more fetches makes your delve creatures a little bit more aggressive more consistently, but I think it's just a touch too many. This card's probably pretty good in this matchup till it dies to Fatal Push.
Hi, Johnny Redeemed. I am Kent Ketter. Used to play some Magic. Still play some Magic. That is I.
Kent Ketter has graduated from SCG Tour Grinder to mostly real adult Seattle area PPTQ Grinder.
Yeah. Seattle is fascinating with the PPTQ scene. Like just 2 to 3 hour insular. It really has that old PTQ vibe.
So, I don't think you want Alpine Moon against Control decks most of the time. In fact, we played against Blue-White and didn't board in Alpine Moon. I think the appeal to having Alpine Moon in this deck is that it's much better against Valakut, and it's better against Tron, and not only because it's more mana efficient, but also because it costs us less tempo to play a 1-mana card versus a 2-mana card. Rug Delver usually plays... Okay, so, like, MNES, like... I hate when people say things like this archetype usually plays X because let's be honest with ourselves. This isn't a deck, right? Like this isn't an archetype that like when you show up to a modern tournament you go, oh yeah, I expect to play against Rug Delver this tournament.
Or I know 55 cards in your deck. Like,
yeah, right. Like trying to like determine that like these cards are cards this archetype should play or usually plays, I think is kind of silly because like decks that are this fringe don't really have typical cards. Spep, thank you for the 8-month free subscription and welcome back. I do appreciate it.
Gotta say, I really like how this Bomat Courier is looking against old 8-rack.
It's definitely looking good in that aspect for sure. The smallpox is going to be miserable though. God bless.
Oh, wow, that would have been awful. Whoa.
Okay, are you fatal pushing something here? I think I want to just keep Fat Stub here.
I did, yeah. Well, I just can't believe a cantrip against the discard deck. Like, cantrip maybe find something is better than answer your Rack Liliana Smallpox.
That is Kent make them play by the rules, Ketter. You know, I almost felt bad. So in Indy, I almost felt bad because I had a Blue-White Spirits player. I bolted their thing while they had a Vial on 3. And they said, yep, and moved their thing to the discard pile. And then they were like, oh, wait, I have a thing. And they put a Drog Skull Captain to play out their Vial. And I was like, nah, this is an open. I paid $50 to play. And they understood. They knew they messed up. But, like, I almost felt bad for a second. But, like, it wasn't F&M, right? Can you see a list of your subs? If so, can you whisper me my alt account username? Probably, Nippic. Ping me on Discord. The Judgeinator, happy to see you back at it from Gen Con. Hope it was blessed. I did have a lot of fun. Thanks for the 12 months. I appreciate that and welcome back.
Did you, Jeff, the Hoaglandia is a cost-saving measure?
I sub because every time I consider buying a Hallowed Fountain deck, you remind me to sleeve up Thought Season Bloodmoon.
Cheaper than a Scalding Tarn.
Cheaper than a Scalding Tarn, yep. Thanks for the resub, I appreciate it. And this game is kind of a good example of like why this 8-rack archetype always seems kind of medium to me. Like they just like don't have anything going on, right? Like they have this now, I guess. Your sub never popped up. Jonesy OG, thanks for the resub. If you're on desktop, you'll need to refresh your browser page to draw a new one. Did I just draw 3 here? I just draw 3 here, right? Just like I'm so choked on mana.
Yeah.
And this like makes the Goyf bigger too, so like I'm not even
also
losing
makes
power.
the rack not trigger. What?
Oh, I could have just grudged this too. Had a grudge in there.
Coward.
That's probably
Yeah,
fine.
but do you know what's better? Show him you're not taking damage.
Yeah, just like strength, show strength.
Yeah.
To share, but I was timed out. Alright, well, welcome back, Jobsy. Thanks for the resub. Nimble Obstruction has consistently performed well for me. Like, there's a reason why we started with 2 in testing, and then, like, I registered 4 for the tournament, right? Like, that wasn't a mistake. Did somebody say resub time? EnergyG Plus, thanks for the 6 months and welcome back. I do appreciate it. I'm gonna go ahead and ice this rack, not because it's dealing damage to it, but just because I want to be mana efficient this turn. Oh, that also, the Liliana dying makes Goyf lethal, which is nice.
I love beating 8-rat decks with Tarmogoyf. I think I had the most fun beating the 8-rat decks with Jund. Or the Jund variants, because you're just like, oh, nice discards.
I considered buying I wonder how many Hallowed Fountain decks I've turned people off of on this stream. Zerim's mother, thank you for the 2-month resub on Twitch Prime. I appreciate it. Thanks for going out of your way to give me that a little bit extra there. Thanks for keeping me employed. I think I'm happy with what we did. It's a bit.
It's kind of nice having all these shatter effects.
Yeah, I do like both Grudge and Revelry. Seem just like good flexibility. And like Revelry gives you a good bit of reach too. Have you an updated wizard list? I played against a guy. No, don't play Faithless. Don't cut lands. 2, don't play Faithless Looting. Those are neither of those things are things I would advocate for. My latest blue-red deck list can be found on my website, jeffhoagland.com/deck Keeping everything up to date on that page. We be delving.
On a serious note, somebody asked a pretty good question. Why are we against Hollow Fountain decks, Jeff?
Why am I against Hollowed Fountain decks? So, by and large, Modern is a format that rewards you for being proactive, and Hollowed Fountain decks are largely incapable of doing that. I actually had someone donate for me to build a blue-white controlling deck in the way I would build it, and we're going to get to that on stream probably sometime this week. And when I intend to play that, in addition to having the normal Snapcaster Mages in the deck, I'm also going to be playing some copy of Getting to the Trials, along with 3 Nimble Obstructionists in the main deck, because Nimble Obstructionist is just a 3-1 that can kill people. MTG Brewhouse, there is a link below the stream or bit.ly/Google submit to a Google form that you can submit decks to find out if I will play them or not.
I think kind of another less, big brain way to look at it is Modern's the NASCAR format. Let's get shiny fast.
I don't even know that it's just like strictly about NASCARs. It's just like decks that are hoping their answers line up well are worse in formats where there's more things your answers need to line up into. It's just like being proactive lets you sidestep that. Right. Or like the blue-red Delver deck, for instance, is really good because in addition to being a heavily interactive deck, it can also just be a deck that kills people with its removal spells.
Did you notice our opponent thought seized our flashback spell?
It is Turkin. They did thought seize. Maybe they have 2 racks, man.
It's true.
Maybe they have 2 racks. Korluski. It was supposed to be a 1-month sub, but I'm less consistent than a Justin deck. Thanks for the 2 months and welcome back.
Nervous. I have to imagine Blue-Red's probably decent against Vengevine.
I think so the problem with the Vengevine deck is that like its nut draws are going to beat everything. So like the question is like how do we line up into their average draw? The actual answer is I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean Bolt kills Vengevine, but you can't build 3 Vengevines.
So honestly, something I might try if that deck becomes more popular is Incendiary Flow might be better than Magma Spray on the sideboard. Because it exiles Vengevine. You have to take a hit, but you can exile it. Hey, Bad Tinker, thank you very much for the brand new Twitch Prime. I appreciate that. So, I think I'm actually going to let this Thought Seize resolve because all of my hand is counter spells anyways, and this way they lose 2 life.
What would you play in a format of Burn and Zoo? I would love to play humans in that format. Don't take damage from your mana base. You outsize the creature decks. I think Eldrazi.
Hollowed One's probably pretty good in that format too.
Yeah.
Depending on how big the Zoo decks are. If the Zoo decks are like ones that go up to like Knight of the Reliquary, Hollow One might have a hard time, but if it's like smaller zoo decks, like Curd Ape Zoo, Hollow One's probably pretty good too.
I love playing the decks when you draw your burn matchup and you're like, yeah, I'm not giving you, 5 life or whatever it is. I mean, yeah, that's probably a fair take, is that it's another dredge deck.
Yeah, and that's very possible in MOP. Like I said, I would need to play the matchup more to know that. Honestly, the dredge matchup, and this is why I'm hesitant to say it's exactly like the dredge matchup. The reason why the dredge matchup is so hard is because Conflagrate is like absurd against you. Like Conflagrate is so good against the small creature decks. And like while you have remands, they just like don't always line up perfectly. That was a good draw, by the way.
Oh, is that a hard counter?
It's weird.
That from Primogenitor. I think that is the best take on Grixis control.
Your name isn't Corey Burkhart. Do not register.
It's like Yellow Hat and control decks.
Abort mission. Yep. Blue Eye Control got 5th at the Pro Tour. No, Nassif got 5th at the Pro Tour. Hold on 1 second there. Oh, that resolves.
Ow.
That one's staying right where it is.
It's like the deck that operates on like 2 lands, doesn't mind the discard thing. Something.
Yep. All right, so you're dead. Scale of 1 to dead. Where are we at here? What are we working with?
Probably a mana denial issue over here.
I think Bomat Courier seems absurd in Affinity.
Yeah, you shift the mana bit. Like, you already want to be red for Galvblast.
All right, quick shilling. What's going on, folks? My name's Jeff Hoagland. I'm a full-time stream, meme, and content producer on Twitch. I'm joined this evening by my friend and Magic player, Kent Ketter. We're hanging out, playing some Modern, we're playing some Temur Delver. If you're enjoying my stuff, please consider subscribing to my channel like so many wonderful people have done here tonight. I stream because I love doing it, but my subscribers are the people that allow me to pay my bills doing this, so the reason that I'm here 30 plus hours a week like I am right now. Past that, you can support myself by checking out some of my very wonderful sponsors. MTGOtraders.com will love to buy and sell some Magic Online cards with you. And if you use code Hoagland PayPal at checkout with them, you'll save 8% on your singles orders there. Zapins, thank you very much for the brand new Twitch Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Honey is a free browser add-on that when you install it using link bit.ly/HoogleHoney, you'll be supporting my content here at absolutely no cost to yourself. So if you're someone that doesn't have any spare money but would like to help me keep doing what I do, consider installing their wonderful add-on. What their add-on does is when you're shopping online, it takes a look at stuff that you're putting in your shopping cart anyways and searches automatically for coupon codes for you to save you money on things you're buying anyways. That always brings up the question, how does Honey make money? Honey gets a referral kickback when they save you money. So Honey doesn't do anything evil or sell your user information. So it basically only does helpful things, and they make money when their software is useful. So they're incentivized to be useful.
Honey make money. That was just too good.
Christy and I have been sleeping with Lisa for the last 8 weeks now, and Lisa would like to get you on your way to a better night's sleep as well. Lisa provides foam mattresses, and I don't think we'd ever go back to a traditional pillow top. You can save $160 or more on your new mattress by checking out links bit.ly/HoogleBedUS and bit.ly/HoogleBedCA. And of course, I'd like to welcome everyone out there to Hooglandia. Please talk to your friendly neighborhood moderator about your complimentary timeout. I've only been on for 24 hours so far this week. I took 3 days off. I went to Gen Con. I took a 3-day vacation. It was a long time. Christy did approve the Sleeping with Lisa shill line. I was using her name in it too, so I got the heads up before I went ahead and used her in there. Do you ever put Honey on Lisa? That maybe we could get to like the next level with this show.
Let's circle back to Lisa. Folks, you should probably check if your mattress is like over 5 years old and replace it.
You're not.
If you're not sleeping well, especially folks that are trying to lose weight and get healthy, either or, if you're not getting like your 6 to 8 a night, check that mattress.
With the success of Hollowed One, Bridgevine, Keystay, and the resultant Graveyard Hate is going to be coming in sideboards. Do you think Tarmogoyf / Knight of the Reliquary? I don't think Knight of the Reliquary's ever been that good in Modern, honestly. I think Knight of the Reliquary is just like one of those cards that people just like love in Magic and like constantly try to make work, and it's just not very good. Did I buy any Funko Pops at Gen Con? I did not. Not really into that sort of thing. What did I spend money on? What was the chef game called? Master Menu? Menu Masters. I bought a game called Menu Masters. I bought a game called Hive Mind. and I bought a bunch of Warhammer TCG starter decks because the game was a lot of fun. Afier, thanks for checking out Honey. I appreciate the support. Welcome. Does your friends know how to dab? There we go. There we go.
I mean, I can't say I'm like an expert, but you know, it's passable.
Well, hashtag we'll dab for dollars. I bet you spent more on food than games. 100%, Nivek. Not close.
There's some really good deals though, like because Jeff picked up a couple of games for me. Some of the companies were like selling stuff for pretty cheap.
Thing in the ice. All right. So this is a small thing, but we want to attack before we play the Tarmogoyf because this way they likely won't block because they don't want to lose this to a lightning bolt, I would assume. And then post combat we go fetch shock, play Tarmogoyf. So this is either terrible play or ghost, one of the two. I'm still gonna go ahead and grab Goyf here, I think.
Thank you.
Josie Brewer, thank you for checking out Honey, I appreciate it. Wait, the sleeping with Lisa line is intentional? I always thought it accidentally comes out like this and it'd be rude to point it out.
Risky play. I like that.
Risky play. It's pretty bad. Like, the risk to reward is what you need to assess there, and the risk to reward is very low, right? Like, the risk is loot trading your thing in the ice for a lightning bolt, and the reward is like saving a point of damage. That being said, pick your stuff up.
I do not know the answer to that question.
The Discord integration is handled automatically here. You need to link it in your details. Inside of Discord, so you need to be using the desktop client or in your desktop web browser. You cannot join the subs Discord from mobile, the way the integrations work.
Monsters.
All right, so I think I'm gonna fetch Shock Visions here. Probably off Steam Vents. Thank you, McCullough. Thank you for the 4-month resubscription. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, Courier and Looting are definitely good, I agree. Bottom top. Drawing another basic island isn't bad. Means if we, it's funny, I actually think Bomat Courier is probably worse in Modern than every other format. And I don't think, that's not to say that I think it's bad in this format, but I do think it's worse in this format than it is in other places. And the main reason for that is because Modern is just such a creature-based format, right? It's the same reason like Geistising Trapped isn't very good. That's an interesting bounds. Knights with the $5 donation. Thank you for the support. I pay money to have my questions asked as it should be. What's the issue with the Keyforge distribution that you read about? So, Keyforge, and I feel like we're going to talk about this a lot. So what Keyforge does is, it's not a deck building game. You buy booster packs, and each booster pack is a random full deck. And while that sounds neat, these aren't, hey, J-Bone, thanks for installing Honey, I appreciate it. While a random deck sounds neat, these aren't pre-built decks that are guaranteed well balanced against each other. What they are is computer-generated decks from a possibility of decks that could be generated within the legal deck building restraints of this game. Which means there's no guarantee that if you go buy two decks that they're going to be well balanced against each other, which means, one, it could create a bad casual gameplay experience because you and your friend could have completely different power deck lists. And two, it creates a bad tournament experience because, well, you have to like buy a bunch of decks to get a good one.
Right.
It feels like they tried to combine limited and constructed and got rid of the best parts of both.
It's like I really felt like they listened to the worst possible input they could on like. And like, don't get me wrong, like,
it's tough to be super critical of it because like Richard Garfield's obviously an incredibly smart individual, right? But like it's so weird, and it feels weird and bad. It's the first time I've ever walked away from a demo and gone, man, that game was a lot of fun. I'm probably never going to buy it because the distribution model's terrible, or sounds terrible in theory. Lord Lamar, thank you very much for the tier 1 sub. I do appreciate it. The decks sell for $10. Yeah, it's an interesting idea. And the other thing is, every card printed is unique. Each deck and each booster pack gets a computer generated like character name on it. So if you like lose a card or one of your decks gets destroyed, or like you piss your brother off and they like reach across the table and they rip it in half, like if kids are playing, like you can't play your deck anymore because you're short a card and every card was unique. And like, don't get me wrong. I think like the idea that like casual players hate playing mirror matches, like that's obviously what this is trying to solve, right? Like it's trying to solve mirror matches,
right?
But
how does making it just feels like the experience is going to be so widely different between deck to deck, and like I think all these folks that think it's going to make the play experience better, they're going to run into a bunch of non-games. They're going to be like, oh, my deck is great and yours is terrible.
Yeah, it's a paper game. It's not an online game. They said they weren't ruling out having an online component, but it's definitely a paper game. Oh, you know what? I should have played this land. They would have bolted this on their turn, right?
Sounds right.
So do I want to play Hootie here, or do I want to just hold up Crack Bomat? I think I want to hold up Crack Bomat. He's got 5 cards under it.
Yeah, I think sideboard is interesting. For 5? Oh, ooh.
It's tough, right? I guess getting a 4/4 into play is really good in this matchup, huh?
Right.
I think... Oh, I don't have a red source anyways. God, this mana base.
I don't think I could play this deck in a tournament. Just tilt off.
That would have been a disaster. Yeah, the mana base is definitely a little medium.
At first, I just thought we were, like having some bad runs, but I can't think of like having mana base issues.
So like, yeah. Kind of Erlo, but like you got to remember decks have to have like a coherent game plan, right? And like just randomly building decks from like 23 million. Well, it's not that they can keep you from trading, it's that the back on every card is unique.
Yep.
So you can't, it's gonna be like anger into bolt here and I'm gonna tilt off. No, just thing. All right, deal.
It's like both the names and the graphic design in the back are perceived
are unique.
Yeah. And it's just millions of repetitions of it.
Yep.
Rosewater the game. That'd be, yeah, you just get a bunch of Rosewater stuff.
All right, so during my upkeep here, I'm going to Vapor Snag this thing in the ice. And the reason why I'm waiting to do this during my upkeep is because this way if my opponent has a Cryptic command and they want to counter bounce my Bomat, I'll get to draw with the Bomat in response. This does expose us to counter tap my team, which feels bad. That being said, I've got a lot of counter spells in my deck.
Oh, look at that.
Like that one.
Look at that.
Lethal you. That's weird. We had a counter spell in our draw 5.
You had a 6th one too, even.
And again, like, it's definitely unique and it's definitely interesting, but it's being, and this is how we talk about building decks on stream, right? Don't do something just to be unique or just to be interesting. Do something with the goal of solving a problem, and I feel like this creates more potential problems than it solves. Like, the only problem I can, at a glance, envision it solving with, like, a typical TCG or CCG model is that people hate mirror matches, so you're statistically unlikely to play a mirror match because you're only 1 in 23 million or so to have 2 of the same deck exist, much less someone else find that other deck and then play them against each other.
But the counter, or something to think about with that, is instead of, like, now you're making every game a $10 transaction. So as many people that, like...
Yep. I'm like, how many decks, and like another
come back every week.
Another thing that I have to think of, like, if I buy 2 decks to play casually with friends, because like this game probably isn't gonna have a big competitive thing around it, right? So like, let's say I buy 2 decks to play casually between 2 friends. How do I know if one deck is actually better than the other or not? Because it's not like a person has been testing these things and like a design team tested these. So like I can't even just go out and buy a subset of decks to play with friends and know that we're going to generate good card games with them because they might be imbalanced. They're likely to be imbalanced, right?
They're signing up for like the Modern experience 4 months ago.
Yeah, it's definitely, like I said, it's definitely interesting, but the way the model was described, it's not something I feel like I'd ever want to get involved. And the other thing, and this is big. Bomat plus fetch is gas. Could tell what's
Count them out.
You theoretically could do that. Yep. One of the things that's kind of I've lost my train of thought. Nope, it's derailed. I had a thought. I had a really good thought, and then we plotted out Bomats, and I got nothing.
My bad.
I'll get this multitasking thing done eventually. Someday I'll be good at it.
It's like you invited a distraction.
Oh, hey,
That's a
look,
good
a
comment,
distraction.
though.
It's fitting that your shirt's wearing Facebook and you're being a distraction.
Should just make a noise and poke you every like 10 to 15 seconds.
Varying power level sounds like either getting a legacy deck or a standard deck style, or each individual card is good. Yep. 93 to 94 Magic. Thank you for the 5-month resub, but ban mental misstep. Keyforge is the game that we're talking about. It's a game that was unveiled at Gen Con this past weekend while I was there. If you're looking for new games that are fun and ones that I did pick up,
you had hot ones.
the Warhammer TCG card game was a lot of fun, and they're going to have a digital offering supposedly by the end of the month even, they said. So that's definitely one I'm going to be keeping an eye on myself. I bought a bunch of their cards.
It's fantasy, by the way, not 40K.
It's Warhammer Fantasy card game.
Necrons, way!
All right, I'm going to soft stub the crap out of this, and then hopefully they're going to play the post soft stub Land of Shame here. The post soft stub Land of Shame is my favorite. The post days Land of Shame, just like,
By the way, I really wanted to find a way to get more red mana in humans and play that for the mirror.
That card's really good.
Like, it has the right creature type. It just has all
If
the wrong other
you don't
abilities.
stream the Warhammer games, did they even happen? Who said I'm not going to stream the Warhammer games if they have a digital client?
Sleep is important.
It is not, as far as I'm aware. It's made by a completely different company.
Yeah, the living card game was a Fantasy of Flight spin, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
I don't think it was quite a decade. I think I saw it at Gen Con, but it was a while ago. Space Marines for life. There you go.
So if I hit a land, or if I hit a land here, I can Vapor Snag plus Hootie, which would be great. Otherwise, I have to choose between Hootie and Vapor Snag. Mana Leak's pretty good. I think I just want to snag here and just like smack them. Just be aggressive.
We have F6 value if you need it on our opponent. I'm pretty sure.
Glad to see you back. Honey is great. I just adopted a kitty, and Honey saved me money on kitten food. Well, that's great.
Nice.
I'm going to unsummon my Tarmogoyf. I'm going to be sad.
Oh, Team Darkwater. When I stopped playing Magic as much, I realized hoodies make you look a little ridiculous in like adult world. Just
Honey find pizza codes. I don't actually know offhand. I do know that Honey leaves you completely alone though if it can't save you money. So like it's not like one of those annoying things that like bugs you to like click on it. It only ever pops up if it says, "Hey, have a discount." If I had a chance to play Arena, I do have thoughts on Arena. You can find them here. Honestly, the biggest thing about Arena is that even if Arena is really done well, Magic is not a game that's going to play well on my tablet or my cell phone. It's not, right? Like the amount of lands. No, Honey does not sell your information, Trey. So they make money off of referrals. So whenever their codes work, they get a kickback from the website that their codes are working on. So that's how they make their money. The J9, thanks for checking out Honey. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think they're just tapping and heavily leaning on the whole like increasing user experience is valuable to companies.
Yep.
Like the company selling the product has a value on having you.
Unknown earn. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Can I ask Honey to sell my information in exchange for pizza discount codes? I'd like to hear my thoughts on the PT. I don't really have educated or informed thoughts on the PT because when there's 50,000 people in Indianapolis, cell phone reception really sucks. So I didn't get a chance to watch most of the PT coverage this weekend. I would like all of the Tarmogoyfs against the blue-red deck.
I do like Arena for the fact that you get to play a bunch of mono red mirrors for real cheap.
Get to play mono red mirrors for really cheap.
Yeah, what's the question with tracking? Like, what do you specifically mean with that? Like, are they aware that you're on websites? Probably. Specificity matters when wanting to know about security.
Does it track / store my info? I don't actually know that offhand. All the details are there. Spicy hot chocolate. Thanks for checking out, honey. I appreciate it. I assume they have data on their users to help make their experience better. That's generally how stuff like that works. I think I'm going to lead on a Hexen. Thank you very much for the brand new Twitch Prime. I appreciate that. Welcome. I think I'm going Dubs bottom here. I'm definitely like looking for a third land at this point.
Standard reserve list.
What did I like about the Warhammer TCG? The gameplay felt really smooth, and this isn't to say it plays like Pokemon, but the Warhammer TCG is similar to Pokemon in that it's a unique game. I feel like a lot of games end up being like varying degrees of like Magic Light, and the gameplay that the Warhammer TCG provides is just very different from a lot of the card games that exist that I've played previously. It's a fantasy Warhammer card game.
I've had no issues with honey on a tag on. It should be pretty low weight. I would not be surprised to find if there was something else.
A TCG, it's not based on combat. Actually, the Warhammer card game actually really doesn't involve creature combat at all. Like, your units that you put into play don't attack and block directly with each other. There's cards or actions that allow you to interact from your hand, but your units aren't directly engaging with each other generally.
Gabrielle, I don't know if it was Age of Shitmar. Did they tell you what fantasy? Like,
it is Age of Sigmar.
Okay.
That's actually, it's Age of Sigmar Champions, I believe is what it's called.
Nerdster, if you need your fix, some of the 40K computer games are actually pretty fun. Decent little, whatever the StarCraft RTS.
What did I think about Lightseekers? I really didn't care for Lightseekers gameplay. Lightseekers, it just didn't feel like it had enough going on. And to me at least, the Warhammer card game is actually made by the same company that makes Lightseekers. And after playing like half a dozen games of Lightseekers, the Warhammer card game definitely felt like this is our card game after we made Lightseekers and understand how to better make card games. I wasn't really, one of Christie's coworkers actually played in the Lightseeker National Championships this weekend at the event, and he had got me to play a little bit and play one of their intro events, and that game just really didn't do it for me, but the amount of depth that the Warhammer card game had in comparison was really good. Like I said, I'm always looking for like different interesting games to like play on my tablet and my phone, in addition to like Hearthstone and other stuff like that. So like the fact that this game is going to have a digital component is great, and their digital offering is so absurd, chat. So their card game, the way it works is when you buy a card in paper, you scan that card into the digital app, and every card you own in paper, you also own in digital. Then it's such an absurdly good setup. Am I supposed to sandban the land because of looting? Yes, definitely should have done that.
I don't think there's any green-red monsters on the docket. Tomorrow is the Sacred Meme Monday, and monsters is the antithesis of memery.
We do have green-red dragons.
Tomorrow?
Maybe.
There's no way it's fully memed out.
I mean, like, it's pretty terrible, right?
Okay, all right, that's fair. I mean...
What game is that? It's also smart because it discourages a secondary... I mean, it kind of encourages a secondary market. It's the Warhammer trading card game. It released this weekend at Gen Con. Their digital client is supposed to be in beta by the end of the month. It's really kind of neat. And like you can claim the card to your account by scanning it in, and then if you wanted to trade the physical card and the digital card together, you can unclaim the digital card from your account and then trade it to somebody else.
I think the Pokemon codes are for packs, not for direct cards.
Yeah,
right?
Pokemon codes, when you buy a pack, you get a code for a pack that's then not redeemable by anyone else. The way the Warhammer game works is your actual card scans in directly, and that's what you get in the game, and you can unlock it from your account and trade the digital copy with the physical card as well. Or if you're someone who only wants to play in paper, you could sell scans of your cards to people even.
Sure.
but the person won't release it online. Well, I mean, I'd assume you'd be able to like say, I'm only trading you the physical copy of this card. You'd have to be clear with that, right?
Vios, we had a 10-minute wait as an opponent timed out, so that ate up some time. And
yeah, this has been a long league. Yeah.
And honestly, I think we just haven't gotten to like quick concession points.
Pokemon pack codes. Pokemon pack codes usually sell for like anywhere between $0.10 and $0.25 each. How do they scan? I actually have a picture of one of the cards. I actually have a bunch of the cards in the other room because I bought a bunch of the starter decks. But I have so where is it? So it's actually really slick. So this is a Light Seeker card. That's another game made by the same company, but the Warhammer cards are the same. These little divots around the outside of the card are unique to every card. And when the camera scans it in, the positioning of the divots are linked to the specific card that they're divots on, which is neat.
And another small benefit of that system is it's likely, like with QR codes, you can't like damage the code because it's a small section of the card. My guess is with that, it might be able to read it off of like 3 out of 4 sides or, partially beat up. So meaning it might be a higher chance of scanning with, production errors and stuff like that. Also, QR codes are really ugly. All those different, like, fancy scanny codes. Those so ridiculous.
Can I scan the image that I just showed you? You could if I hadn't already scanned it in myself.
Ah!
So, like, and when you scan a card that's already been claimed by someone, it says this card's been claimed by and then gives you a username. As someone who appreciates good technology, that's some good technology. For Black Green Rock, is Treetop Village better than Hissing Quagmire? Treetop Village is the better creature land, but Hissing Quagmire is better fixing. Is there any way for me to get credit for it? I don't know that they sell in the UK, right, show? At least as far as I'm aware, they don't.
And if they did, I'm sure the company's not that big that if you...
Yeah, the cards can be unclaimed from your account. They have a UK site? That's weird.
Oh.
Huh. The more you know. Well, I mean, when someone says they're trading you the card, before you agree to the trade, you can scan it when you go to trade it, basically, and see that it's unlocked. Winnie the Pooh, thanks for checking out, honey. I appreciate that. Drawing a lot of lands and not drawing a lot of Faithless Looting feels pretty bad. Let's start with this.
We're down a game, right?
No, we're up a game. Yeah, we're definitely up a game. Remember we hit the Spell Pierce?
Oh, you're right. You're right. You're tied. That's what. Okay, 1-1. All right.
What's our record? We are 3-1 in this league, but we've had some medium matches. We had a concession, or we had a timeout, and then we had someone make a misclick. So
and the timeout was actually a fan of the stream, so it definitely seems like it was a tech error on their end, not like a salt off.
Yeah, they definitely they were up a game and they disconnected. So
Yep.
The Woo! Thanks for checking out. Thanks for that Twitch Prime. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support. Yeah, it's definitely closed, but like the important thing to remember about Faithless Looting, people really like to compare it to Brainstorm for whatever reason. Like it's not a cantrip. It provides card selection, so you need to be keeping cards in your hand. I guess I'm shipping into Jace the Mind Sculptor here with the Goyf. We're kind of just losing this race here. Where do I buy large quantities of these cards? They're for sale at Games Workshop stores now, I believe. And I imagine they'll be in local game stores at some point.
Wondering if they're gonna make them.
Def not Nivik Sisters Prime. Thanks for re-upping there.
The question, Brandon, will be: will Games Workshop require folks to buy it with their massive in-store orders? Or are they gonna let smaller LGSs that don't carry their figs carry it?
That is a good question.
That's one of Warhammer's for whatever.
Walks with Shadows. Thank you for the checking out, honey. I appreciate that.
Stupid GW. My local game store in Springfield, Illinois, got shut down a couple times for selling figs on eBay instead of in the store, like violating the basic TOS. Happened like 3 times in Springfield.
That's loose.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like worst case for us. I can't even. I guess I Vapor Snag this. I guess, like, I really need to kill the Jace, right? And then, like, I can mana leak it when they recast it.
Def, I was referring to their figs. Like, if you're a game store that I think is, like, a direct buyer, you're not supposed to, like, sell your new figs on eBay. Cool. Alpstrom, thanks for passing that on. So it looks like they'll be there, and then...
Will be handled by the other company? Yeah, because Play Fusion is the company that makes the card game. And they have, like, Light Seekers and game stores and stuff like that. So I would imagine the Warhammer thing will follow suit.
Also, that was that issue with my stores back in, like, 04, 05. They've probably modernized a bit with their sales stuff. I have no idea, though.
Sounds good, Nivik.
Never mind. Gabriel Paints points out GW is still ridiculous.
All right, death to the Jace. I'm just gonna, like, play another Jace next turn, and I'm gonna be super.
Is that a
salty.
6-power Goyf?
It is a 6-power Goyf.
Woo!
It is losing the race to this Vendilion Click, though. And I Vapor Snagged a Snapcaster Mage and they have a Bolt in their bin.
Oh. Yeah, we're real dead. So 3/1 flyers are good.
3/1 flyers are great. Yep. This card's really good. It's one of the reasons why the blue-red deck was good too. And 3/1 flyers in general, just like Nimble Obstructionist and Vendilion Click, just like sign me up. Faithless Looting. Ooh. Okay, that's like a fat stubby D. I guess I'm dead though, right? Because, like, I can't attack. That is a Kent Ketter sitting next to me. Oh, I should update this title.
Nivik, I don't think I did.
Oh no, we were. Oh, this was game 3. We won game 1. It's all such a blur.
I'm gonna be honest. A lot of the games felt the same because a lot of medium magic. Like, a lot of okay things were happening, but I wasn't excited.
So
it didn't feel bad though.
For the wrap up here, basically my takeaway from this is, I feel like, especially with the mana base being clunky, I feel like if I was going to work on this archetype, I would start with someone who's more experienced than me. This is None. Thanks for checking out, honey. I appreciate it. This is a deck list that Todd Anderson played at a recent tournament. He's a very good Magic player. He's played Temur Delver a bunch. Roadkill, you get your mouse. I haven't yet. I need to do that. Thank you for the 9-month and the tier 3 resub. I appreciate that. Remember, we have a form under the stream now to fill out for a new deck list, or if you want to add to a deck that's already in there, message me in private. Yeah, so this is Todd Anderson's deck list. I think I would definitely start here, especially just like the inclusion of Snapcaster Mage is huge. If I was going to change anything from Todd's deck list offhand, I think these Cryptic Commands are probably more than a little bit greedy, but I'm not sure what else I would put in them offhand. All right, so what are we doing here? We are gonna, so we had Nivik shared a bunch of donations that other people chipped in because apparently he wants to watch Kent Ketter fumble through playing Just Guys and it's a combo. And what change would I made? You should check out my article on Cool Stuff Inc. Nickel, as well as checking out the Blue-Red Fairies list page on my personal website. I have updated deck lists in both of those places. All right, so I'm actually gonna restart Magic Online before I give it over to him here, so this way he can have, you know, as least lag as Magic Online can generate.
Let's be clear, I haven't actually really looked at the deck list yet. I know it was up on the screen, but I didn't let my eyes drink it in.
Do you